car and a driver that will take the child to school and bring the child back. But and the woman insisted that this child is used to this kind of life, so I cannot take. But the message was like, other times there are these people who are so cunning. They would agree to the parental responsibility agreement, they would sign, and then when it comes to paying,
they don't pay. The lady keeps calling, and I'm just saying the lady because mostly Patanga, it's the man who has to pay. Both parents have equal responsibility for their child. Equal responsibility. So hello and welcome to the Sisters-in-Law podcast. My name is Beverly Mokaya and I'm here with
Akwila Mokaya. In this podcast we discuss matters law.
From talking about employment law to human rights to tax law to contracts law and anything law, we've got you covered.
Remember to like, share, subscribe and leave a comment down below. We also have exciting news. We are now on Spotify, same as just the other
platforms.
Yeah. The Sisters-in-Law KE. Yeah? Good. Yeah, the Sisters-in-Law podcast.
So on today's episode, we are going to talk about child custody and child maintenance, actually child support. So, but before we even get to that, there's a question that had been asked in our previous episode that I think we would like to respond to. We were talking about free speech vis-a-vis defamation, and someone asked a question that if someone texts, let's say for example, if I text Akwila about person X on their WhatsApp, defamatory statements about person X, can it be admissible in court? Or if I text in a WhatsApp group or something like that? Well, the answer to that is yes, because WhatsApp screenshots are admissible in court nowadays. So just don't defame people. Yeah.
Whatever the platform.
Because if they can prove that their reputation has been damaged and or their business profits have gone down because of what you said to a certain person, then they can bring that case in court and they'll be able to get reliefs.
Yeah.
So on to our topic today, child custody and child support. This is the thing that affects most couples when they're divorcing,
So rampant.
Yeah.
And it's a very dicey topic.
Yeah, and actually nowadays it's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot. I don't know, people are separating a lot and divorce is really common. So children are the most affected. Of course, people usually don't want to share their property and things like that, but when it comes to children, of course, you are more attached to your children than your property. So you would find that these cases are in court a lot, and it's just good for you to know how they usually go.
There's such a myth. There's a very, very common myth that if I am separated with maybe the father to my children, the father should take care of the child. It's not like that.
It's not like the father should take care of the child and the mother should keep custody of the child. Yeah, those are two very wrong myths. It doesn't happen like that.
So wrong. Every time you go to court, you just lose.
Baba ya mtoto anafaa ashughulikie mtoto.
And it's not like that because the baby is now from the both of you.
Yeah.
But also, interestingly, even before we just go into this topic, there's a judgment that was issued sometime last year that if I am separated, maybe not really separated, but if I have a baby with somebody, initially I would claim that the guy pays rent because I'm staying with his children. Right now, you need to pay your own rent. Yeah. Like you cannot ask that other person to come and pay rent because you're staying with the kids. And that's when they can raise the issue that can you really stay with the children? Now they can take custody for the child.
Oh, that's very, very interesting.
Imagine.
Okay. So now, so I think the baseline of for all this, the Constitution says that both parents have equal responsibility for their child. Equal responsibility. So for example, if we divorce, or if I'm, let's say, your baby mama, and I go to court, the court will look at my circumstances and your circumstances, and they'll come up with a way to ensure that both of us contribute to the well-being of the child. Yeah.
So I think we can start with, of course, a child is the one who's below 18. But when I say a child in this case, I mean like those of tender years, maybe 1 to 4. Mostly they are mostly dependent on the mother, maybe because they're breastfeeding, or maybe they're in their tender years. So the mother, it's so natural to say that the mother is more capable of taking care of a 1-year-old or a 2-year-old with the breastfeeding, they're still learning how to walk and things like those. But there are instances when the mother can be denied.
Yeah, custody of a little baby.
Yeah, like a very, very small baby. Because even if we say, oh, I'm the one who's breastfeeding, what if I didn't have breast milk?
And nowadays there's none.
Yeah.
And also like you can bottle feed. Yeah.
The father would have to buy none and something like that. So anyways, mostly they tend to maybe lean towards the mother
is very young.
Yeah. But now let's say the mother is a drunkard, or maybe not really a drunkard, but maybe it's addicted to drug and substance. Like maybe she's always drunk, or maybe just leaves the baby and doesn't take care of the baby because of her addictions. They would always, as long as there is proof, just have it at the back of your mind. Like
in court, it's about proof always.
Yeah. So if we can prove that the mother is not fit, maybe as I've just said now, addiction first. Secondly, if the mother is constantly traveling, so if the whole point of us giving you the child for the custody is for you to nurture the baby, but you're always out of the country, maybe you're always out of town, so the nanny has to take care of the child. As long as the father to the baby can prove, they can be given the custody of the child.
If they can prove that they'll provide more stability to the baby as opposed to the mom who's always out of town. Let's say the father lives near the school, they can take the baby to school, and they can show that they have a way of taking care of the baby, even if the baby is young. For example, they can take the baby to the grandparents and things like that. If they can show that the mother is incapable of taking care of the child, then the dad will get custody. Yeah.
So, but mostly just put it at the back of your mind. As the child is tender, they would mostly lean towards the mother because
except unless there's those extreme circumstances that we have mentioned. Even if the mother is a prostitute and the dad can show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, basically, if you can't take care of your child, you can't say that just because I'm the mother, I need to keep the child. Because, in all these cases, there's this principle that they always say, the best interest of the child principle. So when they're considering who is to maintain custody, who is to maintain the baby or like support the baby in matters finances, or any children matters, they always consider the best interest of the child. And if the child is old enough to talk for themselves, they will ask the child. And the court will consider what the child has to say.
Doing, that clinicals when in uni, child attached to mom. At the time, and that court was for children. So the child was not so big, like maybe between 8 and 10 years. But the mother had been granted custody. Imagine the baby cried and was holding on to the door. Imagine. She
didn't want to go with the mother.
Yeah, like she refused completely. They had to even review. Now they made like an application for review. Yeah.
So in such instances, they will give custody to the dad.
Yeah. Because now they cannot force me as the child to stay with the parent I'm not acquainted with. Like even if it's right for me to stay with my mother, or I am more attached not more attached, but my mother is well equipped to staying with me, but maybe she overbeats me or
doesn't treat me well. That actually means as a parent, maybe just try and be close. Not that we're saying that you're going to separate with your spouse, but just be close to your baby. Because now when it comes to let's say children who are of age, nowadays kids are very smart. So from around 7, 8, they are good. They can talk for themselves and they're able to choose. If they choose the dad, the court will give the baby to the dad. Yeah.
And then also there's something called visitation right. Mostly court advises that you guys go for mediation as opposed to litigation, because of course litigation leaves a bitter taste in the mouth.
Yeah, and even especially because of the baby, they're always trying to protect the baby. I'm saying the baby, but the child, the court is always trying to protect the child. So they want you to go mediate before having to go to litigation.
Things like that. Because also at other times the child is called to give their
Evidence, testimony.
That's really,
they'll remember that for the rest of their lives.
They will never forget.
So that's why they go for mediation.
That's why they go.
And actually, even it's not nowadays. It's not even advised. It's compulsory. Like when a children matter goes to court, they will tell you guys, go for court and next mediation first, and then you can come. Of course, come out more, they're not going to agree. You'll just go there, tell your mediator we don't want to agree, and then go back to court. But nowadays, routinely, every child maintenance case, a child custody, you have to go for mediation.
So I was heading to mediation rights. The court cannot deny you as a parent the right to see your child, But you see, they at times, initially they would want you to come to a consent to agree. Maybe you can stay with the child. You can come and hang out with the baby maybe on Saturday or Sundays from maybe 8 to 5 p.m. You bring back my baby. But the court cannot say that if it's the mother who's staying with the baby, the father cannot see the child. The court cannot deny any of the parents, whether it's the father or the mother, whoever doesn't have custody, from seeing their children. It's always allowed, unless it's on the extreme that maybe you are a flight risk.
You will run away with the baby.
That's where you can be denied visitation rights. But ordinarily, from the beginning of that case, you are always allowed to see your children, depending.
Oh, and by the way, when you go for this mediation, you're not going to just agree by word of mouth. You will discuss, and then you write down everything. Like you can come up with something called a parental responsibility agreement, whereby we write the dad will be responsible for this, the mom will be responsible for this. I will have actual custody of the child. Now, actual custody means that the baby is staying in my house. Or sometimes it can be joint custody, in the sense that during this time, let's say, for example, because I live closer to the school, when she's in school, she'll be staying with me. During the holidays, she'll stay with the dad. So those are some of the things that will be put in that parental responsibility agreement.
Oh, wow.
Just keep it in mind that it can either be actual custody or sole custody, mimi ndo na mtoto peke yangu, and then the dad can visit or something like that, or joint custody where I stay with the child for some time and then the dad stays with the child for some time.
So also when the court is deciding on who's going to stay with the child and things like that, they would also look at the health of the baby. Let's say, for example, if the baby is autistic and the baby is young, but I'm not able to take care of the baby. The dad is a doctor.
Yes, exactly. Or they have been trained to take care of a baby who has special conditions, special needs. So they will give the parent who's best suited to take care of that child, or the parent who's most present. Because right now, sometimes even you find that women sometimes work even more than men sometimes. So if the dad is more available or more present, and he can prove that the mother is not going to be present for the child, then they'll give it to the dad. They'll give the baby to the child, the dad.
Like mostly, just put it at the back of your mind, whatever we are fighting against each other, like whatever the cause of our argument as the parent is not going to affect the decision of the court on this side of the baby, because when the baby is a separate entity and she or he is going to be treated as such, in the sense that all the best interests of the child
will be considered
first, regardless of whether I love the baby a lot or like whatever fight we are having as a couple would not pour down to the decision on custody and whatnot.
You'll even hear magistrates or magistrates saying things like, "This is not about you. It's not about the two of you. It's about the baby." So don't bring us your fights here. We're just concerned about the welfare of the baby. There's custody, and we also said maintenance, now child support. We started by saying that a myth that we were trying to deconstruct or just tell you it's not true is that it's only the dad who's supposed to take care of the baby. Nowadays, both parents have equal responsibility. So, for example, if the mother goes to court and says the dad has not been contributing in any way, the courts just won't put the entire burden on the dad. Okay, now you, man, because the seed was yours, come, pay the rent, pay for food, pay for clothes, pay for water, pay for medical expenses. And although nowadays unapatanga, maybe they put, like, let's say the dad, they put the child on the dad's NHIF card so that it can be easy, as opposed to him to having to send money for medical expenses every time. So the court won't say the dad should take care of all that, but the court will look based on the circumstances of the mother, how much income both parties are earning, and what is being spent, then decide. If the two lawyers, if the two parents cannot decide for themselves, the court will decide. Yeah.
And also it's very interesting that the court also considers how much you're paid. Like there's another case where they separated, but the man dropped, like his rank went down in the office, so the money that he was receiving wasn't as much as before. And the child was going to an international school when they were together, and they used to have a separate car and a driver that would take the child to school and bring the child back. But yeah, and the woman insisted that this child is used to this kind of life, so I cannot take. But the magistrate was like, you cannot milk a cow that doesn't have
milk. Exactly, by the way. So you'll find in such cases, by the way, the magistrate would say something like, if you're insisting that this baby has to keep going to this international school as the mother provides.
Yeah. Like and then also at other times you realize that maybe the parents don't agree on the school. So because now in this case, the man wanted the child to go to sit-up schools now and transfer the child from that international school that the baby was going to, and also he could not continue to pay the driver to take the baby to school, so he was requesting that the mother to the child drives the baby to school with the car, because the children had a separate car. Actually, before the judgment came out, they were asked to go and agree the school that they are able to afford. Because now this woman at this point was not able to afford that international school, because the man was the one who was paying for this complete fees. But now remember, he also has other children. Also even as you go to court, you also have to explain, I'm earning 70,000.
I have another family. Sometimes actually that's what the men usually say.
Yeah.
I have another family. So in this other family I have 2 other children or 3. So half my income already goes to this. So this is all the income that I have. Of course, maybe they're lying or not, but
other times they require that maybe you attach, maybe if you have children, maybe and they go to this schools, you attach and whatnot. But they would always check your income.
Yeah, they always do.
I don't know why we were misadvised, or people are actually misadvised that you just quote any amount that you want. Because there's another case where the man was earning 70,000 and the babe was quoting 54,000. That's not even fair. Actually, the magistrate won't even accept. Yeah, because why would you want 54 out of 70? And that's what I'm earning. Like that's now my net salary. So if you take 54, I remain with 16. How am I going to survive? Other times there are these people who are so cunning. They would agree to the parental responsibility agreement. They would sign, and then when it comes to paying,
they don't pay. The lady keeps calling, and I'm just saying the lady because mostly Patanga, it's the man who has to pay. Nakata.
Matters school fees. If you have added the child is being sent out of school, that even reminds me of another example. Oh my god. There was this guy where I did my pupillage. What did I just mention? Where I did my pupillage, the guy had 7 different families. So he had 7 different parental responsibility
agreements.
So honor. Like so, if the term is starting, he used to start paying school fees like for the 7 people, for the 7
kids,
7 children, and of course he would default.
Yeah.
Whether he defaulted on all of them.
Because how can you even maintain that? And maybe he had a current family at the time.
Yeah. Oh, now he had his 8 other family. Now these 7 others are like 7 different children from 7 different people. So now
Lord, please pay maintenance and child support.
He used to disobey. Like the babes now, they would call and insist. They would call. This guy would never pay.
Yeah.
They did. They went and did an attachment because he was working in a very, he's a serious man in the society.
So now you've said attachment. Attachment of property. We talked about, there's an episode on how someone executes decrees. But anyway, if this guy is not paying, the court will attach his, you can apply for the court to attach his property and sell. Now that's where auctioneers come in. They sell and then the woman gets money. Or, attach his salary. You can attach at least up to a third of the salary. Yeah, or the garnishi orders. Garnishi is whereby, let's say, for example, you know this, of course, the woman would know you have an account somewhere in KCB, you know, so you go and attach to the bank account, and then that's money in that bank account will be transferred to the account of this lady.
Either it's through school fees or whichever.
Yeah.
So either way, sherehe kwa mkono mrefu wa serikali.
Yeah, so either way, if the lady gets a good lawyer, they'll be able to get their money.
But anyway, if you sign a parental responsibility agreement,
just honor it.
Just honor it.
Or don't even wait to get there. Just honor your, you know, yeah, if it's your child, pay their fees and all that.
I hope we've managed to debunk all the myths that are up and about the country, not just the city. I hope you've understood. If you have any questions, please ask.
Yeah, thank you for watching. See you in the next episode. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and ask questions and tell us what you want us to talk about.
And
bye.
listen also on Spotify.
Yeah, listen on Spotify. Bye. See you in the next one.
Next time.